Hey, hello everybody, it's William, welcome to my channel. So we already finished a lot and achieved a lot in fact. What I'm going to do in this video is to make our code better, okay? So if you're new here, if you stumble upon my channel, this channel is all about programming, about game development, about app development, about incorporation of artificial intelligence and AR, VR, all the fun stuff. You're watching a serious video about augmented reality. We already make all these entities that the sort of virtual entities that appear in your environment, and can have full basics, physics, and can interact with each other. But the code is pretty cumbersome. So let me use the Visual Studio to show you guys the code. It's pretty cumbersome. Every time I want to generate a box, I have to set the generate that first, and then set the generate collision shape, physical body, and all these collision components. It's too cumbersome, so what I'm going to do is to make it better. So how to do that? Pretty simple. I'm going to generate a I don't know, maybe some sort of I don't know, maybe some factory, something like that. So I can use that factory to generate all these bugs as well as sphere, something like that. Okay, so yeah, let's just do that. First, I'd like to change this name because the name represents the thing that I'm trying to do. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is to generate a entity generator. Okay, so you can every time I want to generate an entity, I can just call that generator to do that. Okay, so let's say this will be entity generator. Okay, and let's try to do that. So basically what I'm trying to do is to using the two structure. One is class, the other is struct. The struct will be the configuration. Okay, so if you look at the coordinator here, we got this size. Okay, let me search it. Okay, we got size that we need to set. We got this color that we need to set, simple material color, right? And we also got the shape. We got a different shape of say the box as well as sphere. So this all can be treated as shape. So yeah, basically just all these stuff that I'm going to use a sort of configuration to do that. So what I'm going to do is to import UIKit and RealityKit. Is really important for me because we're going to use UIKit to dealing with the UI, and RealityKit dealing with the virtual reality. UIKit as well as imports reality. Okay, RealityKit, and and of course we got different shape. For now we just got two cases. Okay, so one is box, the other is sphere. So it's the better way of dealing with the shape is to put it inside of a enum, right? Enum. Okay, and the name will be our shape, and inside of the shape we got different cases. So we got case 1, which is with box. Case 1 will be box, not box screw, just box. The other case will be sphere, right? Okay, so we got all the scenario ready, and then we can actually to generate things. Okay, so basically if you're not familiar with the way that I write enum, basically it's just the shape enumeration. Okay, so they represent two scenario, box and sphere, that if you got entity here, the entity can take on two shapes. One shape is box, the other shape is the sphere, and so we can say the enumeration can yeah, it's not enumeration, but rather the entity can have two shapes, box and a sphere. And of course, the enumeration also can have different methods. So for example, if you look back here, we got this coordinator. We got this mesh. Yeah, sorry about that. I need to find it. So mesh. Model entity, we got mesh and generate mesh. Okay, so I think maybe I can generate mesh, generate sphere, generate shape resources. Yeah, I can actually generate that by putting a method here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to add in the generate mesh as well as generate shape resources to it. So let's just do that. So yeah, I think inside of here, because it's just some method. Okay, so function, we got generate. Do I have a generate mesh? Okay, function generate mesh. Yeah, let me look at the components. Okay, mesh resources, switch self, we got box, and we got sphere. Box returns mesh resource generate box, and certain size. We do not need that certain size, we can just say the size. Okay, and we got radius 1. Yeah, I can use that. Okay, but I don't want a specific magic number here, because I want the user to, every time they call that entity generator, they can pass in certain size as well as radius to it. So let me just change. This is called magic number. Is that you plug in a certain number inside of the block of code that you're going to use a lot. Every time you want to call it, you just magically set the number to 0.1, which is not a good practice. So the better practice is just to make it size as well as maybe this will be size as well, even though it's called radius. Just the size of the sphere. Okay, it's just sort of a generalized thing. And of course, you can use the same method to add another function. Would be generate shape resources. Okay, and model entity. That's not model entity. I want it to return the shape resources. Okay, so or maybe not. Yeah, so I need to write it ourselves. So the generate mesh, because we're going to pass size. So let's add that here, and there will be a float. Okay, and the same way of passing size will be float as well. Okay, and then it will give you a shape resource. Okay, and basically these two is just the same. You can use a switch statement, self, suggestion box, return shape resources, generate box, certain size, and radius. That's good. And the box, we can even pass in more things, because sphere just got radius, but the box can have a different kind of a size. Okay, so let's try this. This is not necessarily the final way. I'm just trying to figure it out as I explain this. Okay, it's size, and size, something like that. Okay, and of course I can I think to do one size is also okay. Right, so that's end of our enumeration. And I can use struct to store the size as well as color as a shape information. So I'm going to use a struct structure to group together the three properties that we think imagine you try to describe an entity. Okay, you want to say what is the size of the entity, what is the color of the entity, what is the shape of the entity. In fact, I think maybe you first explain the shape first and then size, maybe shape and color and size. Okay, so yeah, doesn't matter. We just use struct to do that, and the struct will store the configuration for the entity. I'm going to say entity configuration, maybe entity, because entity generated entity configuration. So just make sense to you, that will be fine. Configuration. Okay, so this will be remember the struct will store the configuration for you, and maybe the size. Okay, that will be float, nothing too fancy, and the color. Okay, remember the color spell like this, that there's no U here because it's American English. A UI color, and because you are going to use UI color, you're going to use UIKit. So yes, just a little reminder of what kind of API that you are using. The shape will be shape, and because this will be a shape, I already got the enum, which is numerator of a shape. Okay, so I think that will be an important. And the shape can because you sort of loop it, enumerate it. You got just the two scenario, box and sphere. Okay, and then comes to the main part will be our entity generator class, because you're going to use entity, so you sort of need to inherit a lot. For example, the entity, the has model, has physics, has collision, because that's the most important thing that you're going to use. Okay, a lot of configuration just to configure this. This little nitty-gritty detail. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to write a class and inherits from a lot of building. Okay, so let me just write a class. Remember, we call entity generator. So you need to, pretty good. You need to get that exact same words here. This, I don't think we need it. Let's just delete it. Okay, let's write ourselves. Entity generator, remember, you need to inherit that. So entity, because you're dealing with entity. Entity, all right, and we got has model. Okay, and has physics and has collision. Okay, and has anchoring, has physics. Also, I think it's suffice for now. If it does not include all that, I may adding that later on. Right now, let's just do that. And let's add var. And remember configuration, we can just pass in entity configuration to it. That's pretty good. And then we need to initialize it. So init. So it's sort of like in menu initialization by passing the configuration to it, and that configuration will be our entity configuration. So entity configuration, perfect. And then we can say self dot configuration, just a set configuration, and super dot init, just call that. And then we can set mesh. If you think it's too complex for you, just bear with me. I'm going to explain that later on. Okay, so just this is my personal experience, that we do not interrupt the flow when you actually coding, and once you written all that out, you can then try to explain that. Okay, so yeah, and it's just live coding, so I don't know what I'm talking about right now. I don't know whether it will work or not. I'm going to save all this debug process, so you guys know what was really happen when you are in a working condition. Okay, so I'm going to get the mesh as well as the material, physical body collision, all that. Okay, so I'm going to get a mesh, and we can just set configuration. Just configuration. Remember, we got shape, and we can generate mesh. Okay, and just I'm using the configuration size to it. Okay, so yep, pretty simple one. And of course, you can use the theme method to get the material as well. So materials maybe, and simple material. Okay, passing configuration, we can access configuration color, and yeah, it's metallic. We can say I love true because I love this metallic feeling, so I'm going to leave it true. Okay, and then we got a model components. So model will be our model components. I'm passing mesh as well as materials. Okay, and then of course we're going to add a physical body to it. So physical body will be physical body components, and shape, configure shape, and I think yeah, so let us not use this because I'm going to add mass to it. Mass property. Mass property, default material, default mode. What kind of mode that they say? Dynamic, perfect. Because I want it to interact with each other and sort of enable all sort of yeah, the physics. So it's better to just choose the dynamic. And collision, don't forget collision component, perfect. Shape, using configuration shape, generate, yeah, perfect. And yeah, let me just make it with more space so it becomes easier to for the eye. Configuration shape, and we can generate shape resources to generate that, passing the configuration size to the size. And I think we also got a model and trigger. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can just go back to your coordinator code to check that, because you know if you look at here, I think we can check the sensor trigger. Yeah, mode default sensor, right? And generate shape resources, something like that. Okay, so collision shape, yeah. So let's go back here, configuration size, and let's add more to it. So dot mode, that will be a trigger, I think, or trigger or default. Suggestion is default. I think previously I used trigger for that. And filter is sensor is trigger false, using true. Yeah. Let's just use trigger. Just if it does not work, I'm going to change that. And filter, I think previously I used sensor for that. So let's just try sensor first. Okay. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's a collision. And yeah, I think yeah, we also got a sort of recursively generated collision shape. Let me just collision shape recursive true, right? So yeah, don't forget about that. It's just a thing that think about. Generate collision shape and the recursive true. Okay, so that's pretty much about the initialization, and yeah, this yeah, you can treat it as a sort of custom initializer, okay, and we can create an entity based on the configuration that's provided, okay, and yeah, of course, we also need a required initializer. The initializer is required by the entity superclass. Okay, so if you do have an error here, we'll throw a runtime error, and so once you pass in a certain configuration and you can't fulfill that custom initializer, you will throw a runtime error, and that's a better structure for your code. So you're going to require init, and I think let's add it here. Okay, so we're going to require init, and the fatal error init has not been implemented. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so this is just a runtime error. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's basically it. Yeah, and let's try to call that. Alright, let's try to use it, and let's go back to a coordinator, and we got a lot of generation of code, box 1 to, yeah, all the stuff that I think we can get rid of, and let's do the fun stuff. 1, 2, 3, sphere, 1, 2, 3, yeah, good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to comment all that out. Okay, so there's no generation of any of the box as well as sphere, just the ground. Okay, and then we are going to generate that using the new class. And yeah, because we still need to add a child to box 1, 2, 3, sphere 1, 2, 3 to the anchor. I think we sort of need to generate the box 1, 2, 3 as well. Currently we already commented all that out, so let's generate that. Okay, so let a say box 1, box 01, in fact box 01 will be model entity. I think it's called entity generator. Okay, so we need to use entity generator. Okay, and then passing all this say generator certain thing. Okay, so you can pass in I think the size maybe, and then the color, position, collision, mask. Yeah, let's add the configuration first. I think the configuration did not add it first. So what I'm trying to do is that entity generator, and I'm going to pass in a configuration. Okay, and that will be a certain configuration that passed. So that configuration haven't been added yet. So I'm going to say box configuration. And we also got a sphere configuration. Okay, and box configuration we got there. We call this entity configuration, and we passing the size. I think maybe 0.1. It's pretty small, and then color. Yellow shape is metallic. Yeah, it's metallic. We didn't need that. I think it's shape. Okay, and let's just use box because it's box configuration. And the sphere configuration, entity, same method, configuration, size, color, shape, sphere. Yeah, good. So every time I want to generate the box, you're using the configuration and pass that in. So I'm going to say this box configuration. Okay, and let's finish. And I'm going to copy this code. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 boxes. nothing too fancy, just what we want it to happen. So 2, 3, okay, and of course you can let a sphere, O1 sphere configuration, and let a sphere 2, good, and let a sphere 3. I think I need to capitalize it. Sphere 3. Okay, so yeah, all the sort of configuration was passed. Yeah, good. So this it's much more clean than the previous code. Okay. Yeah, and I think because we use a sort of gesture recognizer and you loop around it, and so we need to yeah, remember with all the stuff we need to append all that to all the stuff. And let's go back to all the stuff. Let's search that. I think that's the beginning of that. Okay, all the stuff is model entity, and we don't want that. Okay, we want what's the name again? Entity generator. Okay, so I'm going to say entity generator. Okay, so we pass that to it. Yeah. And I think we use model entity a lot, so let's just search model entity. Okay, model entity. We go here, let's box 1. We already commented out, so we don't need to worry about that. All the comment. Yeah, model entity. We maybe need to change that to what's the name again? Entity generator. Okay, so yeah. Right, sorry guys, by the way, we need to adding let before the box configuration as well as sphere configuration. This is a silly mistake I made. Sorry about that. Once you do that, everything will be fine. Okay, let's test it out. Okay, so let's move around. Okay, yeah, so it's automatically generated and it's sort of a bounce. Yeah, bounced here and there. So let's test whether you can actually, yeah, the fixes works fine. You can move it down. Yeah, in order for you guys to see it clearly, I'm going to add the code and to adding more entities because we already got a sort of a generator here. So I'm going to do is to adding a lot of entity to it. So let's add a lot of a box just for the fun of it. Okay, add a lot of box as well as a lot of sphere. Okay, so let's just copy that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, just make something crazy and see the drastic results. 9, and we call that 10. Remember, we're using the same configuration, so it's just one line of code. You can achieve a lot. Okay, and the sphere, let's do that as well. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's enough. That's already enough. Let me just delete. Because I think this will be pretty crowded. Okay, let's run that. So let's try this out. Oh, I think I need to update the app. Okay. Okay, I close and open it. Sometimes it's get some cache to it. So yeah, pretty strange. Oh, sorry about that. It's never used. So sorry about it. We need to add that. That's the reason why it does not work. Sorry about that. Silly mistake. I did not edit this out. But that's the reason. I want to remind you guys how silly I am. Okay, and how frustrating developing can be. Sometimes it's just a silly mistake that you make. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And sometimes it's not your fault. It's maybe it's ID's fault. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But you sort of need to have confidence. Sometimes it may be frustrating at first, and then when you actually solve a certain problem, you will say, hey, it's silly me, and yeah, look at it, I solve it, and I actually create something. So that's the way of life, right? A pen hand find sphere 10 scope, sphere 3. Yeah, we haven't add anchor, so you need to add that to it as well. So yeah, of course we can loop it, but let's just do this. It's much quick way of doing it, because it's not like crazy 1000 things, just pretty basic stuff. And sphere 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and can't find scope. Pretty weird. Let's run that. Pretty weird. Why we can't find it? I did not generate that. Sphere O10. Okay, so another silly mistake. Sorry about it. Run that. Okay, I think this time it looks promising. Pretty promising. Okay guys, here is the final result. After a few times of trying, I finally got all this stop here, because the amounts, the sheer amount of box and sphere that I generated make it stack as each other and bounced around each other, and they just bounced off the surface. So I increased the size of the plane, and move all that the scattered pieces to the screen, so you guys can actually see it. And of course you can see these physics. So let me move this one, let me use my mouse, let me move this one and to try to bounce other one. Okay, so bounce. Okay, pretty good, huh? Okay, we can even bounce multiple objects. Okay, let me just get the right side of this. Bounce, bounce. Okay, it's pretty let's bounce it off. Pretty good, huh? Bounce it up. Okay, pretty good. And of course I can move that to pretty far away and try to drop it. And of course I can drag it back. I can even change the shape, change the size, all sort of thing that we can do. Okay, so yeah, I think a little bit is just to leave it here. Maybe just let me make it so big and to move it away a little bit and kind of drop it. Okay, maybe a little further so I can drop it. Yeah, it dropped down. Okay, so yeah, basically that's it. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumb up. I really need it. Okay, thank you so much for your support. I will see you in the next video. Bye.